What's up, YouTube? So, I just came across Philosophical's just a real short read here, and this video is, let's see, oops, it's from today. It's only from like an hour or two ago, something like that. It already has 457 views. Um, I'm gonna like it. 457 views, and it didn't have a single like. Now, this message could be for other people. I'm not that into tarot reading and all that, you know. And I'm not saying that I believe 100% in this or that. I don't know if these tarot readers are part of the whole, you know, gangstalking thing, and you know, they're just planted in there to try to help, um, you know, psychologically manipulate the targets, or if they actually have a gift and there's more to it and they're actually tapping into something, you know. So and this has happened multiple times with this particular reader and one other one that I watch occasionally. And it's not like every time they do a reading it's about me, but every once in a while they'll do a reading, and whether it's about me or not, it resonates with me. It describes my situation to a T from my point of view. This is another one of those situations. So I'm going to share this with you. This is for my fan club because I know you guys will all see this, okay? Pay very close attention to this read, okay? Because I think she is spot on. And let's just pretend this is about me and you guys, okay? So let's go ahead and watch this. This is Philosophical. Check out her page. I mean, I believe she has a gift. I have watched her um, reads, right, that are from maybe a day or two before, that when I watch it, it is so specific to my situation, and stuff you can't make up. And you're watching her do the read in, you know, with no cuts in the video or anything, and she's pulling cards, and there's no way that anybody can manipulate this stuff to happen, where the cards that come out just just you know add to the whole thing. I mean, eventually you get to a point where you realize that nobody can be manipulating this to happen just to try to trick somebody or something like that, and that there absolutely is a higher power. There is a higher information network that people that are gifted can connect to, and they can channel these, you know, these reads. Basically, I believe they're connecting to the Akashic record, the collective consciousness, and they're able to hone in on individual situations, and they're able to see the entire situation from an outside point of view just through little reads like this. So this is just one of the many spot on reads that Philosophical has had about my particular situation, and I'm sure it also um, describes other people's situations as well. You know, because there's let's face it, there's a lot of people that are going through exactly what I'm going through, and the situations are damn near identical. So we'll just watch this. This is for Fireman Super Secret Boy Band. My brother, my other, you know, most of my subscribers are obviously my fan club, in quotes. You know, they they can't help. They're addicted to watching my content and everything about my life. I live rent free in their heads, but they won't reveal themselves. I don't know why. Because obviously because they're embarrassed, or because um, they're engaging in criminal activity. Yeah, either way, I mean, I'm just speculating here, but nothing done in the shadows is ever, you know, with for good reasons or for pure intentions. If you have pure intentions, you don't hide in the shadows. You don't do things behind closed doors and behind the scenes. You have no problem putting out and being transparent and putting your business out there if you have nothing to hide and you're not doing anything wrong and your conscience is clear. But you people in my fan club, you know what you're doing is wrong. That's why you'd be embarrassed and ashamed, and you're not going to come out on here unless you're just retarded like my brother or Jimmy Grabowski. I mean, that's the only explanation there, is they're just fucking retarded, I guess. And they they're so disconnected from reality that they can't see what everybody else, what's obvious to everybody else. Their perspective is so skewed. Their perception of the situation is so skewed and so just fucking way out there, man, that I think maybe they actually believe what they're saying sometimes, or like in my brother's case, I actually think that he believes in his own mind that he is some sort of victim and that people did stuff to him. Ed, nothing, nobody did anything to you. Sorry. Your problems that you decided to share with everybody online and exaggerate and fabricate and try to convince everybody um, that that dad was doing things to you, that he was causing you problems, or that I had something to do with your problems, or that anybody was out to get you. No, it's real simple. You were a piece of shit dickhead, and you didn't want to be fair and pitch in on the damn electric bill at dad's house that you lived rent free at that point for 37 fucking years. And so you do this evil, very bad intentional campaign to try to convince everybody that dad's crazy and that he makes your life a living hell and all of this. And are you going to deny that you were trying to, you wanted to get him taken and put in a mental ward or whatever? You wanted him to be labeled as a psycho or a crazy person, that, or somebody who couldn't take care of himself. You told countless people in town that you took care of him like he couldn't take care of himself or something. He is fully competent. His mind is all there. Everybody, their memory gets a little bit shoddy when they get older. That just happens. He is more capable than most adults I know. Okay? He lives by himself and takes care of himself and his animals. Like, he thrives. Like, he has no problem taking care of himself and his animals, even though at his age and his disability, he is at a handicap with his physical disability and the fact that he's, a senior citizen living alone in a big house. He still gets up, he cooks meals every day, he cleans up after himself, he takes care of animals, he does all of this with no problem, because that's what you do when you're competent, responsible, capable, it's what you do. And he's doing it all by himself. He never needed your help. The only help he ever needed from my brother was the technology side of it, because he just is stubborn and he refuses to learn technology. He could do it, he just refuses to do it. He didn't get a cell phone until you guys shut the damn phone off to be spiteful. You shut the phone off so he couldn't. He had a landline. That was his only phone. He wouldn't get a cell phone because he had that landline. And then when you guys shut the phone off, he had to do something. So I went and got him a cell phone. He finally caved and accepted the fact that he's going to have to get a cell phone. But then you guys hack it anyway and all that. I found the Wi-Fi extender network up there on the property. These houses are spread out far enough that there should be no reason that I get a full Wi-Fi signal from centered in that house where his router is. And the houses on each side of him are vacant with no electricity. So you have to go 2 properties down each direction before you get a house and another Wi-Fi network. Okay? But yet, I get a full signal It came up with the name of the network briefly for like 2 seconds, and then it disappeared. Well, I looked it up and realized that's the name of a Wi-Fi extender network, an access point that comes up if you have a Wi-Fi extender. And so I get it. You guys have a device there on the property that you're using, obviously, to hack his internet, I guess. Because just in the last week, I had to go up there twice and fix his TV because I'd fix it and then I'd leave, and then right after I left, it screwed up again. And it's a smart TV. It's connected to the internet, so he doesn't have any devices connected to the internet. He has the internet and the router, and his cell phone is the only one. He doesn't even use it. He does not use the internet on it. Does nothing on it. Just gets calls and makes calls. But his cell phone and his TV are the only things that should be on that network up there, right? And yet, there's no reason why, out of nowhere, the programs he wants to watch on TV just stop working. His TV just stops working, or his phone. There's no reason. Nobody should be getting 60 to 70 telemarketing calls a day. I was blown away when he told me that, and he thought that was normal. And every one of them, they hung up on him. Nobody actually tried to sell him anything. Okay? Now, I'm not a fucking retard. He doesn't understand technology. He's not stupid either. But you guys gaslit him so bad that you made him think that, oh, it's normal to get 60 or 70 telemarketing calls a day on a phone number that he doesn't give out or put online or share with anybody, you know? So why would he be getting all those telemarketing calls every day? Please help me out with that. Please tell me why that would happen. When you guys left, you went around, stole all the light bulbs out of the entire house, and shoved candy bars and candy bar wrappers down into the light sockets. This is just one of the many evil, spiteful things you guys did. Okay? And it's the truth. And I didn't go around spreading that around to everybody. And I could have. You know, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves at the evil, spiteful, vindictive things you did to your own father, who took you and your family in and let you live rent-free in his home for 37 years. And he never asked for anything, but he asked for help with the electric bill because you had all of your equipment plugged in his addition that was supposed to be his jacuzzi suite addition when he retired, that you took over and turned into your recording studio, and had all this equipment plugged in. You told him you couldn't unplug it because it had to stay plugged in so it didn't get moisture damage. Well, whenever you left that and everything got unplugged, his electric bill went down $300 a month. It's normal now. What do you know? So when he was getting $500 a month electric bills, you would not help him with that electric bill. The only thing you guys paid for was a cable bill. $200 and some cable bill, phone, cable, and internet. And he watched TV and he used the phone, and you guys used that and held that over his head. You kept the damn router and the main base to the phone up in your bedroom, and then whenever Kim would listen in on his phone calls because he could hear it, she kept the other receiver up in her bedroom. You guys never used that landline for anything, but whenever it was convenient, whenever he needed to do something, call me or get a phone call, waiting on a phone call back from his insurance agent so that he could take you off as the beneficiary for his life insurance, Ed. Then all of a sudden, the phone got shut off. Now that time, Kim didn't even try to hide it. She just blatantly shut it off because she listens in on his phone calls, and she knew he was going to be expecting a call from his insurance agent. So she shut the phone line off. Before she would do it, and she would play dumb, and she would say, "Oh, I'll have to reset the router. I'll have to reset the router." And then she gaslit him to believe that when that happened and she had to reset the router, she just shut his phone line off. That's all she did. But she told him that, it'll take a couple hours before the phone works again, before it comes back on. That's just pure evil. You know damn well that that's not how it works. If something happens and you have to reset the router, it takes about a minute, if that. And that phone works. And it doesn't even happen to where you have to reset the router for the phone to work, because that is plugged into a separate line on the back of the Xfinity provided router that they give you, right? But you guys had all these other devices, phones and computers and everything else connected to the Wi-Fi, and you would never let anybody else on that Wi-Fi. I remember asking for the password, and you wouldn't let me on your Wi-Fi when I was up there. Why is that? Isn't that funny? You would never share the Wi-Fi password. I remember you would put it into my kids' devices so they could use the internet, but you wouldn't let them have the password. What the fuck are you afraid of? Unless you already are the the type of person who has a guilty conscience, and you know what you can do with a Wi-Fi password, and you know what you do with other people's networks, right? Then you would act like that. But if me and my kids, I never understood why you so worried about the password. What the hell am I going to do? I'm going to use the internet. Why would you worry about if I had access to your network? I don't think like that. Normal people don't think like that. Only guilty conscience people think like that. That's that guilty conscience mindset. You understand? So all of these little things, I could go on all day, mention all this shit, you tell the man's grandchildren, your kids, his grandchildren, that they're not allowed to eat anything he cooks. Okay? You tried to claim that it's because you don't want them to eat unhealthy and gain weight, right? When all he did was cooked home cooked meals that were probably the healthiest thing they could have eaten. You would claim, oh no, there's too many carbohydrates and too many, you know, because he would make potatoes and noodles and stuff like that, and he'd put stewed tomatoes in and stuff. Well, I have a theory. I think you told the kids that they weren't allowed to eat anything he cooked, and you guys would not. You guys would go get food and not bring him any. It's ignorant. And then you tell everybody else that you take care of the guy. Tell everybody at the dollar store, Kim would tell everybody that she worked with that they take care of my dad up there. When the reality is, they would ignore him. They would go and buy food and eat it right in front of him. They would not let their kids eat anything he cooked. He would go out of his way and try to say, oh, what are you doing for supper? And they would say, oh, I don't know. Then they would go and order a bunch of food and bring it back and not ask him if he wanted anything or bring him anything. And they'd eat it right in front of him. How is that taking care of him? Please help me out there. Or whenever there's something that needs fixed in the house, like the electric panel, or the hot water tank, or any of that stuff, right? The flue, needed redone. If you took care of them, you would help work on that stuff, or you would help financially cover some of that stuff. But no, there isn't a damn thing in that house that you put any money into. That he paid for all the repairs in that house, and he tried to do more repairs. You wouldn't let him put a new front door in his own house. You wouldn't let him do anything to his own house. Why is that? Now, if somebody was trying to make a case for squatters' rights or for property owner neglect, then they wouldn't want the property owner to be making any repairs to his home. They would be trying to prove that the property owner neglected the home for a period of time so that they could step in and say they took care of the home and try to take ownership of it. That's how that works. You have to do your due diligence, and you have to prove blatant neglect by the property owner for a period of time while you are trying everything, doing your due diligence to communicate with the property owner while you're paying for the repairs and you're doing all the upkeep on the home. So then that's why squatters' rights used to exist, so that homes wouldn't just get dilapidated and just, be a waste. Somebody could actually take over the maintenance and take care of a property and then do the work to earn it, And if there truly was no owner that was claiming it or cared about it, then that's where squatters' rights would come in. And you guys talked about it all the time. So there's a reason that every time he handed you the cash to pay a bill, the water bill, sewage bill, electric bill, and you guys would use your devices to pay it electronically, right? He would hand you the cash, and you guys kept a copy and a record of all those receipts, and you put your names on them. You You went and added your names to the receipts and everything else and printed them out and copied all that. Why would you be doing all that? It's not even your home. It's his. You know what I mean? The utilities weren't in your name, they were in his. You weren't paying for them, he was. So, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what you guys were trying to do. You were trying to take his home from him. That's fucking evil. And then whenever it didn't work, not only did you not show any appreciation at all for allowing you to live in that home and welcoming you and giving you the entire house, you know, without making you feel uncomfortable whatsoever. You had the entire house except for one little bedroom in the back. Instead of saying, hey, thanks for, allowing us to stay here for all these years, I'm sure that really helped you to save money and be able to do nice things and buy nice things for yourselves, because Ed never fucking worked. Kimmy's the only one that worked at the dollar store. Took care of everything, right? Ed just went to the bars and played on the bongos. And he called that his job. But I saw the records, the very, very detailed financial records that Kimmy kept on index cards. I saw it all. And all I saw was direct deposits by Kimmy's job. And then I would see everything she had to buy for the home written down that she bought, right, out of her account and everything. And then I would see withdrawals from Ed. Ed would withdraw money. Every once in a while, he would deposit some money. But he had certainly had more withdrawals than deposits. So, Ed, I don't know what you were ever contributing to anything. You're just a big child who won't ever grow up, who goes and plays at the bars and cheats on his old lady all the time. And you play the bongos. And you think you're something special. You think you're better than people for some reason. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So, whenever your evil fucking plot didn't work out, I didn't do anything. I wanted to stay out of it. I wanted to stay the fuck out of it. But I'm not going to sit there and let that happen to my dad. Okay? And he didn't even pull the trigger and do anything. It was other people who said, if you're not going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody else blew the whistle on what you guys were doing. And that's whenever victim services got involved. And that's whenever they forced him to do a PFA, protection from abuse. And that's whenever you guys kicked him to overdrive and did the Facebook thing, sprayed him in the face with cleaner, tried to record him, tried to provoke him to do something violent. And then you plastered it all over Facebook, and people aren't that dumb. You realize that. They called you right out on your shit, and you just block them. And you sit there and filter all the comments out on your post. And then you even brought my daughter into it. And the evil shit that happened to her 10 years ago, and you brought that up to try to deflect the attention from the fucking piece of shit that you were. And I told you, you told me you were going to try to do it, and I told you, do not do that, because this is what's going to happen. And you did it anyway, and exactly what I said was going to happen happened. And you had total disregard for my daughter's feelings, or even after I told you not to do it. I told you I was going to knock your fucking teeth out if you did it, and you did it, and I didn't knock your teeth out. You're lucky. You know what I did? I shut my mouth. I didn't even bring it up, and I forgave you. Because what's done is done. You can't change the past. What good is it going to do to fight about it? So I could go on all day about the fucking shit that you've done for no reason to affect other people negatively, Ed. Or spread them, right? And you can't say anything that I did to anybody that was bad. I don't put people down to bring myself up. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a criminal. And I'm sorry, I don't go out of my way to humiliate people, especially my family. So the fact that you won't stop, you tell me to stay away from you and your family, but you will not quit watching my content. You won't quit commenting on my shit. You won't quit gangstalking me, and you won't quit harassing and stalking your father, who has an active PFA against you. You were told that if you violate it, you will go to jail. The judge told you what will happen. but you do it anyway. Where does somebody get that level of entitlement from? I mean, unless there's somebody who isn't in a position of power who gives them the green light and says, here, you're allowed to do whatever you want it to these people because they're targeted, and you get away with it or something. Well, like, because I know if I went to the police or to the authorities, I have mentioned something to the sheriff's office about it. They just play the phone tag in. They say, oh, you got to tell these people, and these people say you got to tell these people. Nobody will do anything about it. If I pushed it, I could have you thrown in fucking jail tomorrow, Ed. Trust me. You don't want to call my bluff on that, Ed. I promise you. Because then you'll be the piece of shit that's a criminal that's in jail, right? And I won't be able to sleep, right? That'll weigh on my conscience that my nephew's dad's in jail, you know? Because despite what they think of me and what you have brainwashed them to think of me, I still love my nephews and they're my family. You know, it's not their fault that they have the parents that they do, unfortunately. And I know they're going to get mad at me for saying this about their parents. But someday they will look back and they'll realize, you know, they'll see the big picture and they'll realize that, you know, Uncle John's actually not a bad guy, and Mom and Dad are some evil pieces of shit. Hopefully, I mean, if they ever become good people, then that's what they'll do. Hopefully they don't follow your footsteps and become the evil pieces of shit that you are. Hopefully. I pray. I do. I pray every day that they don't become that. Because they're on that path. But everybody has to go through these life lessons to become better people. You know, to learn a lesson, you have to make a mistake. It's the only way to learn a lesson. You don't learn anything from winning and from being perfect. You learn nothing. Absolutely nothing. It has no value whatsoever. Mistakes are blessings. Failures are blessings. Every time you fail, you get to learn something. Every mistake you make is a lesson. And it just levels you up every time. So the more mistakes a person makes and the more failures they have, the better they become.
What is that gas smell?
It is. What do you think it is? It's heating oil. The line over there must be leaking a little bit. I shut the valve off. It's just, that smells hard to get rid of. So, but anyway, watch this video here. Whoops. Shit.
What do we always say, son? Liberty
Crap.
Mutual customizes your car insurance.
No, crap. I was in the middle of this video and I was trying to fucking finish it here. Damn it.
What do you want, you dirty dog? My car front seats were freaking covered with hair. You.
Damn it.
I put a blanket down just to sit down on.
Oh no. It's 30 minutes. Fuck. It sucks. Alright, well, here, I'm going to turn this microphone off and, oh well. See? I made a mistake. I'll learn a lesson. But watch this video, like I said, that I talked about. This describes it to a T. And I'd love to hear your comments afterwards.
What's up, you guys? I'm going to do some quick messages for you guys. So, I just want to say, I want to start off by saying that I feel like there are some really good criminals that are passed on in the spirit realm and are very embarrassed about these dumb criminals out today. And it must be because of these drugs. All right. I've just never experienced so much stupidity when it came to supposed criminals that were calling themselves gangs and stuff. I just don't know what happened. There are respected criminals like cartels and stuff. They're very smart. They're very calculated. But a lot of the people that I've been dealing with lately are just a bunch of dumb criminals. I just don't understand how you guys got to this point. But let's get into it. SBI was clarified as surrounded by incompetence, right? So there's some people around you, or they come around you. And I don't know if they I don't know what they're told, but when they get there, they're all happy, right? And then they learn the truth about something and they walk away. I think that they learned the truth that somebody that sent them is in very toxic competition with you. Maybe people are starting to realize that it's a bloodline thing. You know what I mean? Like that incompetent bloodline coming against someone from a competent bloodline. Nobody else could act like you and get away with it. I feel like this is you for who this is for, because this is also just playing bitch, right? A lot of these people are very angry that they even got involved in coming towards you or who this is for. These are like drunks and addicts and stuff like that. And I feel like, now for some of you, these people were competent that they were going to be able to do something to you, and then they have to wind up walking away because, you know, you're just too strong for these people. Baal was clarified as be aware, make sure that the respect that you give someone is worth it. So I think that you deserve the respect. There's people who are waiting on some kind of payout because there's still a contract on someone's head here. All right. I don't know if this is your name or the name of the people, but this definitely could be like Jason, Pete, and Bob. This could be 3 different people here, or Joseph even. Put it how it fits. If this is Justine, this could mean something different for you, but there's a lot of people here who wind up coming toward. They're very confident that they're going to be the one that gets this. It's like you have a mark on your head, and there's people who are signing up to be the one to take you out. All right? You're not going nowhere. Love you. Philly out.